What's the idiot circle?
The idiot circle.
I think I know what that is. Probably the same place we were hanging out, Tony Jr.
Yeah, they had this uptown Kannapolis. Just had a big circle back there, and everybody go up there and just ride around the circle. You get tired of riding there, you go to Concord and ride there a little bit.
That's where
we would go. Yeah.
All hang out in the parking lot and everything.
So tell me about that. Tell me about cruising back then. I know a good story about you guys. So y'all saw a guy out there with a car a little bit different, and so y'all went home and worked on yours in the middle of the night.
Yeah, we were riding around town there, and your dad had that '56 Chevrolet, and we was cruising around there. And this guy comes in, he's got the front of it all down low on the ground. You know, you didn't see a whole lot of that then. Come in, it really looked good. The back was up, you know. He said, that ain't nothing. I can have mine like that in about an hour. So we take off out of town. We go to the shop, pull it in the shop, got the torch out, jacked it up, heated the springs up, let her down. We got her like we wanted her, set the camera on it. We took off, went back uptown.
Give him an hour. Give me an hour. I'll have that thing.
That's funny, man.
Goodness gracious.
So what's your first recollection of you and Dad going to the racetrack together?
Well, I was driving a dirt car. He was driving a dirt car, but I never really raced against him. He was always like in a different class than I was. But he was always there. We before I started racing, Daddy and Ralph raced in the same class there, and Dale was in the class under that. So by the time I started driving, Dale had moved on up. So I never got to race against him, but. It was around the old Concord Metrolina racetrack, that's where we all raced.
What got you into driving? What made you want to try it?
Well, Daddy loved to go to the Outer Banks fishing, and so every weekend when we'd go to the racetrack, he'd let me take his car out and practice it. And so every week I was practicing. So he was going to go to the Outer Banks fishing, and I said, well, you just need to let me take that car and race it. He said, I don't care, take it. So they took off to Outer Banks. So me and David, my brother-in-law, we went to Concord. We went to race.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how it turned out, but
you ended up building another car.
Nah. Well, yeah, we ended up building another car. But then later on in that year, they had this race at Metrolina, and they said no drivers that's currently driving could be in that race. That it had to be someone off of your crew had to drive that car. So. David Oliver's dad come to me and says, I want you to drive my car. You can drive my car? I said, yeah, I'll drive your car. So we went to Metrolina, and Randy, he was in Dale's car that he drove, and I drove David Oliver's, and I ended up winning the race. And so the next year, Dad said, all right, I'm going to give you my car. I'm going to build me a new one. So that's how I got started.
Okay. And so David Oliver is a guy who owned the car that we restored for you. That was the car that you ran your very last race in?
Well, David was the driver of that car originally.
Okay.
Yeah, Danny Simmons owned the car. David Oliver drove it for a while.
Yeah.
But David Oliver his dad was the owner of the K2 car.
Okay, the pink car that Dad drove.
Car, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. So you and Dad married sisters.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Well, he came to me and says, I want to go to Carolina Speedway and race tomorrow. It's on Sunday. He said, I don't have no help. Will you go with me? I said, yeah, I'll go with you. I said, I ain't doing nothing. So me and him and Randy jumped in the truck. We all took off and went to Carolina Speedway to race. So we ran that race. We was coming home. This turns into a big story here.
Go to town on it. Go to town.
So we go over there and race. He ended up in a wreck. We fixed it, and he finished the race. I don't remember where he finished, but we loaded up, and we had to take it back to James Miller's house. So it was over in Reimertown. So we took it back over, and he's running wide open. He said, I got a date with Brenda. I gotta get home. Said, I'm late. Said, I got to go get Brenda. And so when we get to James's, he calls Brenda, tells her he's late. She said, well, I can't go nowhere anyway because Daddy told me I had to take Sandra with me. He says, okay. So he hangs up the phone. He says, you got to go with me tonight.
Wingman.
Yeah. He said, you got to go with me. He said, I got to take Sandra with me. Me and Brenda's got to take Sandra with us. So I said, who is Sandra? He says, oh, she's a pretty girl. You'll like her.
Yeah, your future wife.
So we get in the car and we take off, and he's just flying. It's the same 56 Chevrolet. We're flying down the road. We get out there on Concord Salisbury Highway. We're running. We're getting it. This guy backs out of the driveway in front of us. We go down through the ditch, knocking the mailboxes down. We're stuck in the ditch. We can't get out. So electric fences up on the front fender, fire's just flying off of the front fender. So we get out of the car. But Randy, he was in the pastures out on the right. Dale said, Randy, don't get out that door. That electric fence will get you. So we all go out the left side. Randy walks right around the car and touches that fence. We laugh. We stand on the side of the road laughing. The car's not really tore up. It's just in the ditch. So stood there figuring out how we was going to get out of the ditch. This guy comes by. So Randy standing there and stops, and he says, hey, will you take Randy to the dad's house and get a truck and come back and pull us out of the ditch? He said, yeah, I'll be glad to. So Randy jumps in the car with this guy, and they take off, so they're going to go get the truck. Well, we're standing there. Well, here comes this guy in a pickup truck. Somebody Dale knew. He said, I'll pull you out. He just jerks us out of the ditch. I said, all right, cool. So the man that went tore his mailbox and stuff up, he's standing out there and said, we'll be back tomorrow to fix the mailbox. All right. So we jump in the car, take off. Well, now we're going faster than we were the first time. But we're really late now.
Yeah.
So we go by Randy. Randy's coming with a truck.
Poor guy.
Yeah, we go flying by him, you know. So we get over to Kannapolis where the old Kmart's is. The cops get us.
Oh, man.
So we're sitting in the car. I'm sitting in the car. They got him out. They got him out. They got him in the car. They're over there. They're just talking. I'm sitting in the car. I'm going like, we're fixing to go to jail right here. I mean, we were hauling it now. We come by where that QT is now. We were hauling it. And so I'm sitting there in the car. He comes over and he goes, sticks his head in the window. He says, get in the driver's seat, crank it up, and mash it to the floor.
No.
I said, mash it to the floor. He said, yeah, just stomp it to the floor, make all the noise you can make. Okay, so I crank it up and just wow, like that. And he said, all right, cuts it off. He goes over and gets in the car. I'm going like, what was that all about, you know? So he comes back, he's laughing. He said, I got a muffler ticket.
Wow.
So we take off, and then we ended up going to pick up Brenda and Sandra, but that's how it all got
The
started.
Hangover movie's got nothing on you. I'm serious. That's like the original Hangover movie.